Welcome, water signs. We're here to give you an update. Now, I use my psychic gift. I use the tarot, oracles, divination tools. We've got the runes on the table today. And also we add astrology into that mix to help you get the best out of your path. Now, this is a very different channel. So if you're landing on this video after, on my twin flame path, I promote self-development and I work with the energy on your side to reach union with self, so you can choose to have union then with your twin, or you can be free from the ascension symptoms and move towards your higher path. Now, let's have a look at some of the energy that's coming through. Now, yes, you can have the chakras at the moment from fear-based frequency and inner child, you know, to do with our structures, to do with our finances. Uranus and Taurus went direct. So a lot of the embodiment after the new moon in Capricorn, the new moon wasn't acting like a new moon. It was activating, can activate chaos, can activate sudden shifts and changes, especially with Uranus and Taurus going direct. And you can see that playing out in the collective. From a spiritual point of view, you guys in your light worker community, you know, really embodying that energy, you do tend to, as an empath, especially, you know, whoever's embodying that empath energy, moving to a point where you can tune into the collective, right? So we did have the full moon in Cancer at the end of 2020. We also then moved through that frequency after we had the conjunction of both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, and we're learning how to be Aquarian. So, you know, if you haven't seen the water sign, you can go through and look at what came up for Aquarius, because it will relate to all of us collectively, but also within this, within the element of it, we did have the full moon in Cancer. So we are moving through the new moon energy. And we might have had some frequencies in our life and circumstances where that placement was impacting and affecting us personally, as well as in the twin flame connection. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, I am going to be making tools relating to it. And the way I'm going to format it is, yes, monthly, you guys will get your psychic readings as it moves forward. I'm still working out. It'll probably end up being, as we move forward, easy 50 videos, a month. But I'm going to be working on the creative content to help you on your twin flame path, which I promised. I'm in twin flame union, so to kind of develop some of those things and launch them at the end of each month, because it can take some time and it's not going to happen overnight. So they will be self-development, breaking patterns, how to deal with circumstances, and it depends on where you are in your journey. And I am attracting a lot of new twin flames into the journey, which these ways in which I share are going to help you get onto your path a lot quicker than potentially a lot of what some of us have gone through. And I know that Giggle's been on the path a long time. Louise, you have too. I had. Mine was 25 years. I'm in union now. But working through those patterns, depending on where you are in the journey, is super important to address those, because they can manifest union. Now, union first will come with self, and then it will come to a point where when you are healed, you can choose to do anything. You can choose your twin. You'll have an opportunity to do that. You can also get to a point that you will have a high vibration life, and you won't have the horrendous empath energies. You'll be the best you can ever be, but you'll have a choice then at that point. Now, for the energy coming through for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, I think I wrote that in the chat. Cancer, Scorpio. Yes, I did. Good girl, YILDIZ. Okay, you got sacral chakra in reverse. Now, the funny thing is, in a chakra system, you purge through the chakras. When we say, are we the karmic energy is imprinted in us, and we're purging it, and it comes through in the mirror effect. So at the moment where we're moving through, because we've moved through the Cancer Capricorn axis, we had the notes there around 2018, I believe, that they're old subjects coming up and they're replaying out now. So it's doing full circle and it's coming through to correct it. So that old toxic way, you don't resonate anymore. Now, that may have been coming up. There might have been fear-based frequency. There could have been victim consciousness coming up. It could have been devil energy, really, when it comes through in the tarot card, it's the Capricorn energy. Now, these temptations, whatever they are, whatever that is, it can be old patterns coming through, but you're going to purge them pretty quick. It can be a spiritual test. Now, the ruin that you have is such. Now, I do feel, if anything, you're purging it. You've broken the cycle. This is the energy of breaking the cycle when it relates to Capricorn, which a lot of us at that point were moving away from family-related dynamics because it was the South Node and moving towards the North Node, forced upon to trust, to level up, almost like the analogy I use, your car tires burst and you're calling your masculine and MIA, no one's there to help us. Well, moving into 2021, what you will find is we do have tribe mentality. But because we're adjusting to it, you can get to the point that it can be, a bit codependent, a bit he said, she said kind of energy pack mentality. So be careful not to become part of that. Be open-minded and loving towards those that may be operating from a triggered frequency, and step back and observe it and lead by example. So this ruin relates to apple barley, and it's unique when you think about it. Any seed is a seed of intentions, right? And even psychically speaking, I mentioned this to my daughter before, when we get inside of connections, there can be an aspect of codependency there and expectation. And what do I mean by expectation? See how it feels to you, and we'll see what comes up with the cards. I will pull them in a minute, and I'll go zodiac sign by zodiac sign, and then we'll check what each masculine energy is coming through and how to embody that on your side, and then just how they are. So with circumstances, if you're finding there's resistance, there's blockages and doors aren't opening, think about the bigger picture of planting a seed of intention. Now, planting a seed, do we scream at the tree to grow? Do we scream at the tree and bend it and twist it to be how our ego believes it should be? And sometimes that's happened to us. And sometimes when you look at it from an objective point of view, you can look at it outside. You can actually understand that that doesn't have to be so. It can be very different. And you do tend to find in meditation, going to the higher octane, if you are playing healthy vibrations, earth frequency energies, because, with sacral chakra, it's fair-based frequency, it's trigger, it's, are we trying to move this around? If people are projecting this to the air signs, that's not going to work, and that's a them problem. That's something they're going to have to deal with. On the axis, it can be family-related dynamics of projection. Separately, it can be you embodying that energy too. There's the yin to the yang. Let's have a look at the ruin. Okay, balance the sacral chakra. This also in the twin flame journey is your shared chakra. So yes, you have your own, but you also have a shared chakra system through the Kundalini, which is sacral chakra. So when it goes up and down, there's something in the connection transforming. And you can balance it that way. So sometimes when we go into victim consciousness fair, when we are in, there can be codependent energies and a sense of substance abuse and things to that degree. When that's coming up, there can be control on the other side, but it's also a detox coming through. Hi, Eddie. So yes, for the water signs, there can be a detox. If you had felt you were toxic, maybe having habits, food, eating, we do have Mars at the moment in Taurus, those old circumstances can be coming up. And again, spiritually, you can be passing a karmic test. We tend to have 3D tests, and I did explain to Giggle earlier. Twin flame path can be effectively a bit like going to university, and you're getting all your downloads, and you might go through stages where you're feeling, oh God, am I ever going to get anywhere? And then you move into hermit mode to absorb that, and then after that you integrate back into society and dance around with other individuals. And while that's happening, you have 3D circumstances playing out to pass those tests, because you've gone to uni and you've done that, and now you're applying it in direct action. Coming to the table with, and the bloody computer's going to do it again. And I hope it's not stuck around, because I'm telling you, Uranus and Taurus is playing with me. So potency, latent energy, scarred heat. And I've got to be careful how I say things on YouTube. It is buffering. It's because of Uranus and Taurus. It's bringing it to fruition, and it can be intimate union. Kundalini or serpent power, intense creative energy. That is because the shared energy in your connection in a twin flame journey is sacral chakra. So if you're finding that you're moving into fair-based frequency, balance the sacral chakra. Check on your side of the fence if it's happening in your working life, in the masculine attributes of life, or check if it's in the empath feminine, victim consciousness energies that can come through. But it'll be on one side or the other. Regardless, balance that chakra. But I feel a lot of you are spiritually kind of moving through that energy at the moment. So it is the Kundalini, but it can be intimate union. Let's see what comes up with the cards before this feed. I'm trying to keep my crown chakra away. I always mess with technology. But with Uranus and Taurus going direct, I will say, yes, you can have severe weather patterns. And Mercury at the moment, the nodes are in Gemini till next year, I believe. So you will have quite windy weather. Uranus can relate to sky, lightning and earthquakes. So yes, with that moving forward, because we have Uranus and Taurus going direct, we can see that. Okay, you have the Knight of Coins as your crowning energy, water signs. What's coming up for just the collective energy of water sign twin flames, please? Okay. Now, there's subjects relating to a past tense connection that was offered, and I feel it's more between the two. So ultimately speaking, on the mind is just merging with energies where it's not codependent, right? So the joining, what it means to be responsible, where the patience is, looking at the yin to the yang of the circumstance. And, when you love something, you water it, you feed it, you nurture it, what that means for both sides. And your counterpart will be embodying that understanding at this time in life. Now, water signs, I feel you're looking back to connections point blank zero. The communication, the way you're showing up, how you've addressed certain things, how you feel about certain things, how other people have done such. And, even this connection, what it meant, where you were back then versus where you are now and how you've changed. I do feel both of you are embodying, and there can be circumstances coming up to lineage. Now, this can be very 8th house placement, and currently we do have quite a few aspects happening with Pluto. So in your lineage, inside this connection, many of you can be getting to a point where you're purging the old paradigm of connections, and you're also looking at the aspects that you're wanting to shift those things up and change them around. Now, when it moves into birthright energy, I feel you're understanding that connections don't define you, but the way you operate within them is going to be how it's going to be changing, and you're the key to the situation. So, sort of piggy in the middle energy. Anything you don't resonate with, I do feel you're going to purge pretty darn quick. Now, again, if there has been toxicity, you're assessing what these things would need to be. And some of you are having diet changes. Some of you are having, looking at your energy levels, what you can do to change circumstances. Maybe even in fear of dealing with individuals that do have toxicity and wanting to cut those energies out of your life. And I do feel old patterns, yes, could be coming back, but you need to be aware of that. And it is you guys at the moment, Cancer and Capricorn in particular, and I'm not talking about Capricorn right now, but the element of that, because we had the new moon in Capricorn, it can be affecting the water elements quite a bit at the moment, but it is temporary. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling low, you're going to be bouncing back shortly. And there can be old codependent patterns coming up to be revisited, but it is you're going to see where the overgiving and the overcompensation is coming, and you're going to remove that as a problem. All right. Let's see what this overindulgence is about. Okay, what is this about, please? Oh, no, way too many. What's relating to reunion? There's a bit of addiction here, but it's almost like the shoes swapped. Can be your twin flame at the moment is embodying a little bit of your old energy to come up again. I put it back in and reunion come up again. So the outcome at the moment, there is a huge pull towards both of you coming together, but it's different. You're looking at it from a healthy point, but potentially the masculine element in the connection, the runner, and there's always both are running, but one's doing it internally. They're looking at it differently. And it's funny because the crowning energy, even though it's about you guys as water signs, I feel that it's almost their energy coming through of the intent of wanting to come towards you quite quickly. But there is this addictive energy. So if they did potentially in the past have an addictive energy very separately, now it's shifting and it's swapping and it's moving over to you. But you just got to moderate that in the way you enable that, right? Yeah, me too. Their ascension symptoms. Plus, I mean, from a separate element,
make sure with Uranus and Taurus you get, checkups and things like that, because it does affect your nervous system. For me, when I had the ascension symptoms, I think it was the end of 2018, moving into 19, I reached union. I became quite anemic, which I'm going through again. You can see, I'm very white, I'm very fatigued. So yeah, I'm falling asleep at a drop of a hat, so I need my infusion. So I'll be doing that this next week on top of doing videos, but I'll feel great after. So just, if you feel down and you feel off, go get checked. Look after yourself. Okay, let's pull some cards for, where is it? Cancer. What's coming up for Cancer? Okay, the movement this week will be pretty unique, because initially with the new moon, it wasn't reacting like a new moon right away. You don't get the benefits of it. It was almost, in order to have that new beginning, what do you have to end? With Uranus and Taurus going direct, it can cause financial rubbish out of nowhere, left field. But no sooner do you tie it up, it's going to be fine. So don't feel that it's not moving it. There's circumstances coming up that need to be addressed relating to the Taurus element in your chart. But you can find at a collective level, it's very much due to self-worth energy. You can be overeating to upgrade that chakra. Your ascension symptoms can be coming through. And if you're eating a lot but sleeping a lot, it's because you're going to need the fuel, and you're going to be quite busy. And you will find this week you are going to be very busy, and there are shifts that need to happen in your life. And it does link to the twin flame journey on your side of the fence. So I know a lot of people tend to think, yeah, but I want to know about twin, but you don't understand you're interconnected. What happens on your side will mirror on their side. And so while we're stagnant, stagnancy occurs. If you find things coming at you at left field, tick them, deal with them right away, because it really does move it. Yeah, so if there's a left-right situation and you're having to juggle circumstances, water signs, there can be subjects to do with marriages, contracts, partnerships coming up point blank zero, which is correct because we have both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And also to do with money, the give and take in situations, what we're giving, what we're getting back. Now, water signs. For you, Cancer, there is a cycle coming full circle, and there will be movement within this situation. I do think you're looking at the bigger picture. You just want the bigger picture in a sense of, okay, what is the best path for me to take? How do I deal with these circumstances? What will actually move my life forward? There you go. Unity. What's the correct path? I feel in a sense you're looking at all your relationships. I don't think you're making any rash decisions. You could be a bit triggered this week. And that's due to the psychology coming through from, your work, what you're working on, how you're feeling, what all your connections feel, what you give versus what you take. And I do feel a lot of healthy boundaries when it does come to, just got a yogurt before I passed out. Well, I've got a yogurt smoothie. That's my brekkie. Yep. All organic. There almost seems to be, for some of you, there could be a proposal, there could be a contract that's going to that next level, but you're not going to second guess yourself. You're really looking at where everything in your life that you've worked hard for, where it's going to go. And I just don't think this can be the hardest month for you, both Cancer and Capricorn. We'll get to theirs after. So in an element, Cancer, I do feel trust the process. I do feel you're working pretty hard, but overall there could be a seismic event occurring in your life that you don't see coming, but it is whatever's shifting, you need to trust it. You need to trust in a sense that this is this cycle in life, whatever's transforming. If it's pulling you off in another direction, just trust it, because not all times does our ego say, don't delay. If you need to make a decision in your life, just make it. Don't feel you're making the wrong decision. Try not to fight yourself over it. You've got to trust the process. Watery signs. I think many of you also, if you're dealing with a circumstance that hasn't changed, you're looking at the process of, okay, what do I do from here? What do I do from here and what do I need to do? Now, I think if anything, there is a circumstance of a karmic situation that potentially could play out this week. And it could be more to do with the cycle that hasn't finished. But, you know, you're choosing your battles. They may have waited for you. Oh, I can't remember. The camera's moved over here. They may have waited for you, but I think if anything, it's just not putting your life on hold anymore. So if there's circumstances that have been holding you back, I do think you're just not letting that. And I do feel it's really coming through in a mirroring effect with the masculine. You know, in their life, if there's been circumstances that's been happening that has been holding them back, I think they're really mirroring you on that aspect at the moment. So anything to do with marriages, contracts, partnerships, I feel at the moment there's a huge level up. And there's also this notion coming through that you don't want anything cheap anymore. And when I say cheap, it doesn't have to be the physical, you know, a relationship. It's just point blank zero. You want your riches and your glory and your comfortable energy. You feel you've worked done hard for it. So what you have, you're wanting more of. You don't want to go backwards. So whatever these shifts and decisions you're making in your life, I do feel it's you just don't want to regret things. If they are coming up in a circumstance, you're almost like, that's a them issue. That's not a me issue. It didn't bring you happiness and you're just not investing. Big transformation. Heart of it. Yep. Self-worth energies. Not playing, not dancing with the devil. Let's have a look at Scorpio. What's coming up for twin flames that are Scorpio? And then I'll pull the masculine energies over the top and I'll tune into the masculines a little bit. Okay. You're not enjoying the moon phase. You're just not. You guys are very intuitive regardless. So, you know, you can really embody both Cancer and Scorpio. You guys can really embody that psychic energy, and even Pisces. So this may be a hard, you know, anytime you move in to the moon and out of the moon, you can embody a different frequency because you are intuitive energies. There's a subject that you don't want to look at, and it may be due to the fact that you feel something's hidden from you, but you need to go into your intuition. And this is a hunch energy week. This really is. You've got to try. It won't be the element of I can see it, so therefore I'm doing it. It'll be the element where you feel it and you vibrate it and you move towards it. You've got to listen to your instincts. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently, but you're not doing that. There's something that's holding you back in some shape or form. And it may be due to the fact that you could be quite 3D. You could be looking at and getting quite triggered from the sacral chakra. And again, on the spectrum of your energy, if there's a circumstance outside of yourself and they're projecting at you, this could be affecting your vibration. So move back into getting anchored in. Also, you may feel quite disconnected maybe from groups and really wanting to have some quiet time to meditate, but potentially that may not be coming through at this point. Now, a lot of you have the backbone and the strength to weather a storm, but it can't be one-sided, okay? It can't be one-sided. So you're quite, and I'm going to pull a clarifier on this. There can be some of you that you're not resonating with the job at the moment. Some of you, it can be in relation to a past relationship and how it went down. And the possibilities, and this could even be with your twin flame, like, you know, do I need to go to hell and back in order to get something beautiful? No. But I tell you, when you do, you don't accept that no more. Yeah, you're not wanting to go back to that lower frequency, all right? And the thing is, you know, what we do have control over and what we don't, you actually become quite amused by it because in reality, changes are happening 24/7. If you're in a rich house, you might not be tomorrow. You know, with what's in your control is your control. But things change all the time. And it's not about being in that I'm going to build a pyramid so everything is perfect, because then something on the other side of the fence can happen, which is something we can't control. It can be being unwell or something like that. So those fixed beliefs can be sometimes a little bit rigid. But at the same time, there is... you know, you're almost looking at, okay, maybe this person, and it could be you looking at your twin. For those of you that are Scorpio, are they married? Do they not look at this as a spiritual connection? Do they not follow their intuition? And are they going towards marriage as being a solution? But the mirror can be on your side of the fence too. So however that's playing out, you're not sad. You're just trying to be in the high vibration. You're doing the work, but there can be a subject to do with work. I do feel you guys may be really, really, how do I put it, hard on yourself when it comes to consistency. So if that does come out in a projection sense, it's only because you're being hard on yourself. But I think if anything, you are very, very strict with yourself about how you show up, what you do, what you say, and how you react. And you don't need to be. You hold these things quite close to your chest. Yeah. Yeah. You don't do that anymore. You just don't fight it. Yeah, you're just different. But we're not immune. You know, this is the thing. No matter what we do, be it a twin flame path, be a life, we're not immune. Okay, what is the outcome for Scorpio at the moment? Okay, you're shedding away. You're really shedding a part of your life. And again, I did mention with the Kundalini, the serpent energy, you can have this hunch at the moment that you're really wanting to launch off in a new direction. That's quite a natural cycle. You do shed your skin, you do move. You also, there might be distrust at the moment, which again can be the orange chakra, you know, fear-based frequency. Do I trust you? Let them do their work. If you have all the ticks in the box in your life and you, what causes fear? Let's have a look at it. It can be memories in the past. It can be codependency when it comes to our finances. That if this isn't a success, what would happen? By looking at that, you can take away that situation as a problem by directly fixing the other blockage. So if you're thinking, if you come towards me, if you leave again, what it does to you, look at what those patterns were. I do feel here you're not, your head and your heart energy might be a little bit out of sync. And so you could potentially be looking at it like you can't trust your heart. You know, head and heart, they're two different things. The heart co-creates and feels love, compassion, understanding, but you've got to do that to you as well. But it also can be blocked in a sense. And, you know, we're going to have a full moon in Leo, so we can have a heart chakra activation coming through. And I was already feeling that, and Google was last week. It's already playing out depending on where you are in your journey. We're already feeling that Leo energy coming through. So whatever this is you're shedding, don't look outside of yourself for permission. If you're needing to walk away from a situation, you know, just owning that and changing and allowing cycles to transform is fine. But if you do need to move away from particular energies and you don't trust them, just trust your intuition. Right? Trust your intuition. I'll come back in a minute and we'll see what the masculine feels for each. Pisces. Oh, why said that? Pisces. What's on your mind, Pisces? What's happening with you guys in your twin flame path? You're tired. You're over the drama. You're over the drama. Okay, you could be moving mountains for people at the moment, and you've got to be careful. I think that cycle's coming to an end. And it does make sense. You know, I was coaching a Pisces the other day and I was like, okay, let me explain. You have Aquarius on the 12th house and you've also got your 6th house, which is Leo. We can give. And psychologically, you know, both the 6th and the 12th house kind of dance together a little bit like the devil. It's great. It can be the house of our undoing. But it's also, you know, the work you put in, the healthy boundaries from the 6th house, the effort we put into situations. It's sort of like it does full circle. Now, for you, whatever you weren't able to celebrate, something to do with that's coming up. Okay, what I'm hearing is it's not a one-sided transaction. This is what you have to understand. If you're helping people, help people. But don't overcompensate, okay? Because you don't need to do the work for them. These mountains are theirs to achieve. And I do feel from an empath point of view, it's pretty darn hard. Because some of these things psychologically you may be feeling are your responsibility, but on the other element, you want to liberate yourself from that. Maybe you're wanting them to liberate themselves, the masculine, for instance. You know, you think it's never going to end. And it is this, yes, while we're in a pattern, it never ends, but there is something that needs to be closed out. Let's have a look at
an outcome card, and then we'll go into the masculines and see what's happening. There could be subjects relating to the people that they're surrounding themselves with, and maybe, you know, your world, their world, and how it would mesh. You may also be thinking about how you can bring all of those things together. Try not to think you have to solve that situation. A lot of it is the work that we do on our side of the fence. Now, if there is a karmic, I'm feeling not, because they have the Lovers in reverse, you may not know that it's already over. So there is a situation that has, and they may have had a feeling that, you know, and it depends on, you know, what age bracket this group is. For some of you that are older on in the group, it can be that this person was in a marriage and you felt that, you know, maybe the partner was unwell or something to that degree. You know, and maybe that was the blockage, and you in your ego were feeling, oh, that's going to be there forever sort of thing. Some of you may have had a pain body experience relating to a person passing, but I think very separately, whatever this blockage was that wasn't fun, that you feel on their side of the fence they were dealing with, that circumstantially affected you, this feels like it's coming to an end. It's like, I think you've just detached though and you're none the wiser. Finally, you don't hurt anymore. Yeah, but the thing is, when we do the work, you know, it's the hurts that a person, how do I put it? When we're processing it, it hurts because we're still living in the past. We're reliving that hurt over and over again, trying to psychoanalyze it and understand. So somehow we can never feel disempowered again. But the thing is, you don't have power to control hurt. You have power to control your actions. So yes, we do ascend. We do. It's almost like getting clean, right? You get clean, you're happy, you're leveled up. And then you're open. You're like open to things and you're enjoying life again. That's the 7 stages of healing. That's a natural cycle. Did that person cause that in her? Yes, but then the work was hers because it was in her then. What she does with that after, you know, depending on the work she's done, she will liberate herself and she will move forward. We'll get into that later. Okay, there's a solution that's coming when it does relate to your viewpoint. You do have a happy outcome coming, but it's almost like sometimes we feel that that outcome is only one-sided, but it's 2 ways. It's a 2-way street. So yes, sun energy. The sun is actually Leo, funny enough. So ironically enough, the sun currently is, you know, in, let me check. I do believe it's in Aquarius. Or was it still in Capricorn? No, Capricorn. And the moon is going to be transiting Aquarius tomorrow, I believe. Let's go back to the live stream. So in the yin and yang, in the bigger picture, it's still, you know, collective energy of Leo. So it's strength. It's getting something. But the key, you do have a key as well. There's something on your side that is going to transform for you. Yeah, I think it's the 19th. Yeah, and then it transfers into, and then we're having a Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. So any Aquarian things to you guys coming out, oh, they're going to be coming at you like sticky glue. How does the masculine feel towards Cancer? Okay, they don't want to stalk you. They want to see you. They don't want to stalk you. They want to see you. Scorpio and Pisces, the masculines. Okay, let's get some cards. I think I'll use that deck today. Okay, yeah, if you felt the energy of them spying on you, they're like, no, they're focused on their side of the fence, but they don't want to, they don't know how they're going to fix this, okay, because the eagle can rise above a situation, but there could be a circumstance when they're looking at you, Cancer, and they're going, okay, how do I do this? How do I match you? How do I deal with this? How do I move beyond this point, right? But I also feel if they have been stalking you, now it's like they're not doing that. They actually want the 3D. It's a little bit like what the feminine goes through. Having that astro travel, having that safety,
of, hey, you know, I'm connected to you in the 5D, and then really realizing you're entitled to a 3D connection. And that's usually around the time where you've stepped away from the 7 stages of healing and you're ready to embody that connection. Okay, so they're looking at it like, oh, heck, you know, how do I do this? But there is this, they're controlling themselves. They're not coming from a toxic attribute, point blank, zero to you, because you've exhibited energies of, hey, the sacral chakra is activated at the moment with both of you in a healthy fashion, but it's activated. So the serpent's rising in the water signs. So like the laws of attraction, you're going to attract it. The Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, protection. They're looking back to everything you were and everything you guys could have been. Now, it might not have ended that way. It might not have been so zane. But they're like, have I lost this person? But they want what's lost and they want it back. What will they do? They've changed. They're like, I'm going to do what I can to change. I'm going to have the strength with the sun. So it's 3 moon stages. And I do believe, okay, we're at the 15th now. 15th, 16th, 17th. Yeah, so just prior, I would say, to the sun entering Aquarius, I think they're going to move through this. Earth changes, climate changes, transformation. Earth changes, well, you know, we also have Uranus that can relate to that with the sudden changes. So I do feel this week is it for the way the masculine is seeing the Cancer feminines. Let's have a look at, so do expect communication. They're like, okay, I'm going to level up. They're looking at what needs to change. They're in hermit mode at the moment. The card relates to a 9 to meditate upon what they have to do. And that came through for the air signs as well. It doesn't mean you won't have communication. Do not be too much an ego to believe everything's going to take a long time. With the first waves, things can happen very suddenly now at a drop of a hat, point blank, zero. So the others of you that are further back in the journey, it still can be ins and outs, but transform needs to come. So it depends on where you are in the journey. Okay. Masculines relating to Scorpio. They know who they can trust. They know maybe that they didn't show you the best, right? But they do know who they can and can't trust. They've kind of had an eye-opening experience. They do trust you. They kind of know if they're going to get a tongue whipping. That they know why. But it's like they're not, I wouldn't say they're not scared of you. That would be the wrong thing to say. I think they're moving beyond that point. There's a bit of, there's a bit of reminiscing going on here. They're in the 9 energy too. Up at night, can't sleep, thinking about you. Reminiscing, and that's another thing, a message that came through. If you're jumping back into all these happy memories, all of a sudden relating to this person randomly, where you can laugh and you're thinking, oh, that's a bit random. Where did I think of that? And then you're going back into the thing. That's what they're doing at the moment. But they're controlling it. They're like, if you thought they were going to be tempted by another person, they're like, because you're fixated in their mind at the moment, they can be having a lot of astro travel and dream states with you. But they're really romanticizing the past with you. And I'm hearing the term, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Enchanted forest is like that. They've seen it. They've been there, done that. Hi, Jenny. They've been there, done that. They don't want that. Yeah, they've been there, done that. Yep. They know where they want to plant things, right? And it's funny because the ruin that you guys got, water signs, was the seeds of planting and the serpent rising. So I would expect all of you guys within about 2 weeks, a bit of a shift to happen in your connection the way it's standing right now, because the masculines relating to Cancer have evolution and change. They're in hermit mode, but they are ready to take the steps. For the masculines relating to Scorpio, you guys have the same energy. They know what they want and they want what they want, and there's no ifs and buts about it. This is fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. It is the yin to the yang, and they got the star card there. 2 and 8, knowing that this is an infinite connection. Last but not least, and then I'll do a card spread just for masculine energies collectively relating to the water signs. Those of you that are Pisces, okay, there may have been wounds relating to not getting this off the ground. There may have been also a subject to do with children. If you have wanted a child with masculine, but maybe they, kind of shut it out, they're thinking about that. They're thinking about why they did that. They're also thinking about where they do want to and where they don't want to start new life. So it doesn't have to be co-creative energies, just relating to children. This can also relate to allowing new energies to come through, choosing new tribes, choosing new ways of doing things. But for some, it is relating to a child. What are emotions coming up? They want you to have all your hopes and dreams. So they're looking at that and they're wondering if maybe they were out of sort when they were looking at this differently. How do I explain that? They're kind of realizing that a relationship is a two-sided street. It's not a one-way street. It's the whole analogy, meet me halfway. Okay, they've seen all in a sense of karmics, right? They've had the good, the bad, the ugly. The good might have been you, but again, through our ascension process, we're not perfect. And they know that you've worked very hard for your connections and for all your healing, and you care about people. You do care about people. And they do know that at times the emotions that come up, that there's reasons why they're coming up. Right? You've done the work on yourself. Let's see what they want you to know. You guys don't need to talk to know what's going on. You have a very intuitive connection. I feel there's been some sense of conversations that you guys have had in the past, and I think they're playing out at the moment in this masculine meditation. So these circumstances, maybe some advice that you gave them, very separate to your connection, maybe due to a circumstance they were going through in their life, they're tuning into that as advice. And it can be to do with self-worth, energy, compassion, maybe losing somebody, the responsibilities that they had to deal with. They're seeing how you've actually been through this before and that your information really does serve them. How are they feeling towards you? They're trying to connect in with you. I do think, if anything, there's a little bit of telepathic connection going on, but it sort of feels like they might be going through a bit of a hurdle this week, and they're wanting to connect with you. They're wanting to talk to you, and it does feel quite urgent. Yeah, it could be a situation that is quite negative, but you can't enable. That's the yucky bit. They're like, why didn't I listen to you? There is a circumstance playing at an I told you so kind of moment, and that's how they're feeling. You told me this would happen this way. So whatever that is and whatever that directly means to you, breathe it in, breathe it out, let go, and trust. Please do trust. Sometimes we can go into trigger mode and we can be like, oh my God, what does that mean? Trust it. Everything does happen for a reason to shift this person about. They feel a little bit stuck at the moment, but they do have the art of appreciation. Okay, what is the circumstance, please? Yeah, something that wasn't working for them. It can be relating to a karmic, but something from the past coming back that hasn't, it's held them stagnant, but it's come back so that they could let it go and move it forward. So I do feel some sense of conflict. I'll pull a clarifier on this. We won't continue using this deck. Let's see what this is. What is this eternal dance? Somebody's trying to block them from you. Somebody's trying to cause drama. Could be a bit of jealousy. But yeah, sidetracking them. This could be some friends, you know, trying to keep them busy, trying to maybe change their mind relating to this. They have not changed their mind. I'm also seeing a pattern that they had. They're breaking it. It maybe was an unhealthy pattern, but there is a friend here. There is a friend here at the moment that maybe is unhealthy, but they're also assessing their behaviors of the past, and I don't think they like what they're seeing. They know, they kind of know that they weren't very compassionate, and it's that now they're seeing the patterns of the people around them, and they're like, you told me this would happen. And it's sort of like something you've said to them. That's all I can say. Something that you said to them. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the masculines, and then I'll answer any questions. Sorry, when I'm in channeling, I don't look at the screen because I've got a channel. So, yeah, always, anyone who jumps on, just ask me at the end, and if I've got 5, I will. Yes, so I do. So, look, Pisces overall, those of you that are dealing, if you're Pisces and you're dealing with a masculine at the moment, the way they're looking at you, I would say it's not a you issue right now. I do feel that the positive thing is anything you had discussed in the past, they're really looking at that now. Now, if they're dealing with a baby mama, I do feel there could be a little bit of drama around them. If they are hanging out with their friends and they're trying, you know, drinking and doing things like that to get their mind off the circumstance, they're kind of seeing that even that pattern doesn't work. Because they're seeing that pattern is not working. So it's temporary, but they're noticing a pattern, and they're noticing a pattern with all the people around them, and they're stepping into their power. So I don't see it to be a bad thing. But at the moment, Pisces, your counterpart energies could be a little bit stuck at the moment, but it won't be for too long. But there could be some old patterns playing out with them that they could go back into. They're awake though. That's what I'd say. It's really weird. It's like, yeah, they're viewing it through awake eyes, and that's what's going to be so eye-opening for them. Well, which deck should I use for the masculine? So I'm going to pull a crowning energy of crystal. Crowning energy of crystal, please. Masculines relating to, or masculine water signs, I should say. Either masculine water signs or the masculines relating to water signs. It's the energy and it's fluid. Okay. Oh my God. They've got psychic protection in reverse. Now, this can be 2 things. Some are going back into a test. Maybe a lot of toxic people around them. We did have sacral chakra, but they are passing that test, because it is in the reverse. So if there's a test relating to toxicity, patterns, habits, diet, health, they're purging it. They're like, okay, I'm my own worst enemy. I am moving past that. But it can be playing out temporarily, but it is going to be passed in the long run. Now, this is a one-way read, but energy and time is fluid. So wherever you land on this video, I'm saying January, but, you know, some of my subbies go back, and when I say, hey, I'm feeling this energy, go back and look at 2018 videos of your zodiac. A lot of people have said they do relate. Why? Because it's energy and we're upgrading. Okay, if they're not reaching out to you at the moment, it could be due to a family-related dynamic. And some of them may be a bit scared about what your family may think, but I think I think it's more on their side. Yeah, they know this is kind of they're not grateful for these lessons, and they're also upset that they didn't see the benefit in you. They're connecting in with Gaia. What is the outcome? Yeah, to do with this subject coming up this week, they may be going back into a slight pattern, but it's not going to last very long. They're going to be like, nope, don't like this. Oh, you're getting me off my path. They are scared, though. If they take too long, you will say no, but they're going to address that. But they're also within their own emotion. This is what I'm getting. In their own emotion, they're realizing people are taking them off their path, and they're awake. So they're kind of like, yeah, no, I don't want to drink. I don't want to forget all my problems. I know what my problems are. I've dealt with them, and now I'm celebrating. No, I want to celebrate with moving towards that correct path. They're realizing that they're not safe with these individuals because they gave their power away. Okay, the outcome. Yeah, they're doing a bit of shadow work. I think in the first week it's shadow work, but they're realizing they've got to cut these situations out that they need to let go of and do the mirror work, and then they can move forward to their twin. Okay, because 14, 4, 4, 1, 1 is all twin. How will the feminine greet them? Okay, there can be balance judgment. There can be balance. Any questions in the house while I clean up? It will be a testing week though. Look, and collective energy, when it does relate to the masculines, they have had easy 5-month shift because we had transits with Jupiter, we had transits with Mars, and with Aries and Chiron, which is Mars again. So, yeah, there has been rough energy, but their ascension symptoms you find now, they're going to move through them quicker, and it will be really embodying that. But, you know, this can be a testing, hard work 3 months for all of us collectively, as my twin calls me. It's like, yeah, I know, right? We've got to work hard again. Anyway, any questions in the house? Somebody asked me, they said they wanted to do a super chat. Any super chats? Super chat chats. I've got a client today as well. Clients, videos, and the psychic readings to record. I'm still kind of working out how many per week, per platform I'm going to do. No questions. Or is the feed froze? I never know these days. Around some Taurus. Francis's energy towards you. Now, at the moment where they're at, they're not celebrating, right? How do I put it? They're reminiscing about the past, but they do have circumstantial issues coming out that could be quite problematic. And I'm seeing location. I'm seeing location, and I'm seeing old ways of being, and I'm seeing a job change. They're stuck. There's a stuck energy. Okay, they're making reference to there's something on your side of the fence that you need to address. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is there something that, you know, in order for you guys to be together, is there something that is blocking it on your side? Because they're making references to it. I'll wait for you to respond. Is there something blocking you, but location and job change for him makes sense? Yeah. Now, could you, if he was to call you and you were to move, because masculines are very masculines, I'll just say. In a karmic sense, at the beginning, yes, you can find that they may allow you to enable them when they go through the awakening. They're like, no, I need to come leveled up, and they have a higher expectation of themselves. So it's just pretty hard. There is something on your side that at the moment could be blocking it. Now, it could be due to location. It also could be due to, I feel a little bit of depression there. But if they're in their head thinking, I've got to fix all these things, and you're worried about them, you can't enable. Now, if there's a blockage on your side, is there any person in your life that can prevent this connection? Is there a financial aspect that can prevent this connection? Because it's also making reference to you needing to balance that side for that to move. Yeah, I was still talking about the above, Eddie. I think, did he move to his parents' home? Yes. Yeah, see, it won't move, doll. You can't. If you have a karmic in the picture, a karmic is when you are, it's a bloody hard one. Look, you can attract more karma by not completing a cycle on your side. and it won't start. So even if you do know what they feel, you're not addressing how you feel. And so that will hurt because they're feeling it. They're like, even if you could help me, you can't help me because you are in a spiritual connection. And so how they feel does not navigate by what you feel. There is no safety in a connection. Let me put it that way. When we have a false ego believing that we're safe, that we're co-creating, it's through a given choice. But when we're asking what they're feeling so that we can navigate our movement, there's attachment energy. So how do I put it? Sick of waiting and may let a soulmate energy come in. But you should never, it's hard. I do get what you're saying, but the thing is, will you continue watching twin flame videos? So you've got the only person we're ever really hurting, and it's not necessarily twin that's hurting us. We start hurting ourselves because we're like perplexed and we're caught. It feels overwhelming. So you're embodying that of what the masculine's feeling. Because on your side, it could be you feel this is a job. It could be you're feeling, hey, do I need help? Is there anything I can do? Hey, I need the information. And so we can feel quite stuck in making a decision. It's like, okay, are you talking to the soulmate? Do you have unfinished business with the soulmate? Are you with a soulmate? That can block it. When it comes to connections, what do connections mean to you? Is it because you want the connection? How do I put it? And the only reason I say this is because twin flame connection and being a twin flame has a lot of responsibility in it. Sick of waiting and may let the soulmate energy come in. Well, look, if the soulmate energy was going to come in, it'd naturally happen because you'd be completely in detachment. These are good points. Thank you so much. I wanted to come forward and tell me his feelings. But you can't honestly tell him your feelings because you're still meditating upon a soulmate. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of hard. So sometimes a person can have a karmic and you're like, are you ever going to tell me how you feel? And a lot of times the blockage in the path can be relating to, okay, this is where I'm at on my journey. This is what I'm thinking. Why haven't they come towards me? Usually because we're going through the 7 stages of healing. And if we've made contact in and out, it's better to not contact because they know where you are. Trust me, my twin would always find me. But if at a psychological level separately, you're tuning into a person that was really great for you, but you chose your twin over that and you think that was unhealthy and you kind of like have unfinished business relating to that, that can block it. It doesn't mean the person has to be there. And if it's like you feeling you need to make a left or right decision and you're waiting for information, the only thing that's going to happen in these next 2 weeks is intuition in a sense. And intuition in a sense that, yes, I'm seeing communication coming through, but separately we still have to make a decision. Does that make sense? I'm at 3 weeks, no contact. He just pulled back. Yeah. Well, if it's slipping you off your path and you're getting triggered and you like it, you're going to run, which is looking for a soulmate energy. If you're interacting with a soulmate, that can block it because that can mean that masculine's also purging that. So it just depends on your circumstances. But here, if you feel you're waiting, then you get the information, then you go back to the 10 of Swords. That's saying something that there's work to be done, and that can be the blockage in the connection. Not just the reaction. Don't allow it to affect you and pull you off your task. That's fine. We can do that in the private twin flame room. I will be doing that today. I've just got to plow through the next 2 videos. Eddie, did you have a question while I'm here, or were you just like, hey, YILDIZ? And then I'll love you and leave you after. If Eddie doesn't want a question, I shall love yous and leave yous. Did I miss anyone? But yeah, look, ultimately the way it's coming through, Dale, is that they do care about you, but they feel they've got to come correct. So whatever those subjects were in that conversation, it is coming through that you know what those things are about. So if you gave them problems that they would have to fix, they're now trying to work out how to do that. If it was maybe some statements of what you need, they're thinking of that. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're tuning into it. They're like, okay, I need to work out what this is. But they do feel that there is a lot going on in their life, and they're trying to work out how to, what is the energy of my ex towards me? You know what's really strange? I feel reflection. A lot of reflection. And that's fine. Now you need to embody it, SK. Now you just need to let go and if you contact, it's almost like, oh, we're going back into negotiation. No, that's what I said I need. And I need that point blank zero from anyone, not just masculine. If they do go out of your life, you need to get to a place in your life, and that's when you know you've reached union with self, that it doesn't define you. Not commitment, not a marriage, not a child will cement that you will be happy no matter what you have in your life. And until we can get to that and we have triggers when they leave, we're not quite ready for that yet. But you can move into it within 24 hours. But even making that statement's healthy, because this is what I want, but now you can't get attached to the outcome. Because if they can't give that to you, you don't want that. You know what you want, now stand by it. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what I want. Can you give it to me? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go off and live my highest vibration life. Eddie, what's the way, look, I don't know, did you guys have a connection in a sense that was at some point professional? Why am I saying professional energy coming through? That's okay, Chris. I know I talk too much, right? I don't mean to sound like a cow. Please don't ever misinterpret me. A lot of what you guys have gone through, I've been there, done that myself. So trust me, I do understand. It's almost like you go into negotiation. Do you want me? I want this. But then they kind of don't say anything, and you're angry first, and then you're kind of like, but you feel the need to bring them up and go, we had a discussion. Are you going to respond? And it's like, never go into negotiation. You're worth way too much than that. Yeah, because it's like this person's coming up, and it was like a workplace. It's freaky. Look, high respect. That's what I'm saying coming through with them. Utmost of highest respect. Very professional. They look at you in a very high octane way. There has been some regret, but there feels nostalgia there. Does that make sense, Eddie? Nostalgia. I'm seeing a conversation, and I don't know why I'm saying downstairs. Why am I saying downstairs? I'm saying a glass elevator. Is there a legal contract or something going through? Different building. You think so? So what's the contract for? Maybe you guys are deciding to go into a legal contract or some shape or form, because it looks like a separate building. I'm seeing a glass elevator. It looks legal. But again, it's a metaphor. Guides speak oddly to me. I do feel it will, and I do feel you can very soon. Esoterically, they're coming through where they're spiritually tuning into it. They're thinking to different times. Do they have respect for you? Yes, they do. Was there a little bit of issue with them on their side of the fence? Yes. Please don't take it personal. But it looks like there's a spiritual contract there, because it can be a metaphor. So I'm saying a glass building. Were you married? Why am I saying that marriage is a thing? Was it them or you? Or there's something to do with that there. Because it looks like a contract or a legal building. I'm seeing blue glass, high rise, but it's then flat. So it's got the elevator that goes around. What about them? Have they ever been married? Got a link to what this building is. This building they're showing me. Don't know what it is, Eddie. It's weird. Do they have respect for you? Yes, they do. Yeah, I think that's where situations came from. There was a lot of control on the previous connection. I do feel, yeah, because it's almost like, did you meet, after that? Yeah, there you go. So it kind of feels like from that person's space of where they were and what they went through, it's almost like they come through very, what's the term? I don't want to be a bitch, man. They're very structured, strict with themselves, but they can come across that way. It almost looks like a magistrate, the way they're looking at their life. But regardless of that, what I do see is the emotions that they felt after that breakup and the way they reacted to you. They do appreciate you. They appreciate what you were able to help with them, just your presence. And they kind of, you showed them what it was for them to have a person that was a real empath masculine. Do you get what I'm saying? So they do appreciate that. But there was a lot of toxicity in the previous connection. So at the moment, they're recovering. They're still recovering. It sounds bizarre. They're coming good now, but they could also be getting ready for a career advancement. What should you do? Let's have a look. Stop being stubborn. Do you want to talk to them? You can talk to them. They may be thinking, why don't you talk to me? Now, if they're blocking you and things like that, maybe it's them who's being stubborn. Follow your gut when it comes to communication. That's what I'll say. On love yous and lankers. But yeah, I feel they're coming good at the moment. They could be getting a promotion. They do value you. Yeah, well, it's like lead a horse to water, Eddie can't make a drink. So it's saying to you, you potentially could have movement, communication, a really good friendship. It is a two-way street, but then we can't, in the egoic way, go, have we ever, who's right, who's wrong? You know what I mean? I had to think about that early on in the piece, and for a long time, they do say with ghosting, no contact, 100% works. Does it hurt for the person that's been ghosted? Yes, but it hurts more if you keep repeating the pattern. Plus, you're never going to know if they do or don't love you, and that's really their job, not yours. So you shift it back onto you, and it does heal you. You've got to drop the codependency. Plus, you have time to upgrade and not have more BS, right? So, probably fire. Yeah, probably. So regardless of that, when it does come down to who should say who, I mean, if they're making eye contact with you, how hard is it to go, oh, yeah. And Leos are being through crap, I can tell you. Last year, there was a lot of purges of old connections, divorces and things like that. Having strength, yeah, Leos are being through the thick of it, man. But, there can be a lot of health going on at the moment with Leos. But, and they're gearing up ready for a full moon in Leo. And that ain't going to be fun either. That's like existential crisis. Breathe, Leos. Breathe. It's going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to have a short pause. I'm going to, do what Sally does, which Sally talks about it in the chat all the time. So those of you that don't know, Sally's one of our Patreons, our comedian Patreon. That's okay, Eddie. Anytime. But yeah, I do think highest regard, I think, bit emotional, but would always appreciate, that solid friend. And yes, it could go further. But that person, try not to take what happened personal because that was previous experience. We can't really dance healthily with a partner when we've danced with the devil, right? We're going to heal about that first, then we can dance healthily. That's all I'm saying. Bottom line. Need a booking, link below. I'll be back shortly. Fire signs on that earth. Yes, it will end immediately. That's correct.